Hello, welcome to the Butler's podcast.
Right, today we are going to be discussing the Douro Valley in Portugal because Henry has just come back from a very exhausting wine trip there.
And just to clarify, it's not a holiday, it's a work trip.
Apparently, even though there was a swimming pool, a picnic, lunches, dinners, I mean, it sounds really knackering.
Very important parts of a work trip. And
So,
no doubt you had the worst days ever from work.
no, I've had a really busy week actually, and let's not go down that path, shall we? Because it has been absolutely full on.
Covering the work and looking after the family of animals.
And the team and the shop. Anyway, we thought it would be a good opportunity to talk about Portugal as a whole and the Douro Valley because it's an amazing region in Portugal and it's easy to get to. There's loads to do and you can achieve a lot in a few days. My family live in Portugal, so my dad and stepmom are over there, my aunts, loads of relatives, and they all love it. And we should go there a lot more than we do, but we have loads of animals, so I tend not to go anywhere.
And you don't like to get on a plane?
I don't like flying. We could find a boat. There is an option to get a boat, but we'd need a week then. So that's another podcast for the alternative ways to travel.
Other end of the country, don't they, to where I was?
Yes, it's still doable.
Still have an affinity to the country.
Yes, and so we sell lots of Portuguese wines. I mean, we're specialised in Portuguese wines since before my time at Butler's. So what, 40 years?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Selling ports, and we've always made it a very important part of our offering in the shops. And we do lots of Portuguese tasting. So Henry is really a self-proclaimed ambassador of Portugal. You did actually meet the ambassador, didn't you, a few years ago, who said that you'd be better than he is?
I did. I did meet him when I got an award for Portuguese Independent Retailer of the Year. Thank you. And then my friend, who will be nameless,
what?
He snapped the back off one of the ambassador's chairs when he leant back at the dinner.
So maybe that's why you're not the ambassador. No. So, well, luckily you were invited back.
Yes.
So, you left on Monday, very early on Monday morning.
Well, let's put a little bit more context in it. I was supposed to go in October, and I turned up at the airport, and it was a party of 4 of us, and 3 of them went through. I put my leg through the gate and was told that I'm not coming on. And
was that because you drank too much?
Go and sit over there. That surprised me. That I thought you were going to say because I was too heavy to fit in the seat. And I watched everyone else go through, and then they told me there wasn't any room on the flight, and I had to go home. So
it was very disappointing, and also
I've been looking forward to that.
Yeah, plus it cost a load of money. It's like taxis, trains, planning. You know, it takes us quite a lot of effort actually for Henry or any of the team to go away on a trip, just because we are such a small team. We have to cover each other. So it's a lot of effort that goes into these things. It's a group effort to support one person on a holiday.
Work trip. And I was so disappointed I had to buy a takeaway and some expensive wine to drink.
Yeah, so it was really expensive.
So this was a rerun of the trip, but with different people. But the same host, our friend Simon and Andrew from one of an importer that we use, who represent a wine called Quinta de la Rosa, whose place I've been to over many years. And the first time I went there was with Simon in the 1990s. That's when we had a picture of doing all the foot treading thing.
Yes, we need to find those pictures again.
Yeah, I think we've got them.
So anyway, you left on Monday, early Monday morning. You got a taxi to the train station and then an easy train to Gatwick.
Yeah.
You met the group.
Yeah, cup of tea, no beer.
At that point.
Just let me make that clear.
It was like 6 a.m.
It was not.
Anyway, so then you got through check-in all right?
Yes,
because all over the news is everyone like, oh no, you can't get through to Portugal or anywhere else in Europe because it's going to take 3 days.
Yeah, the team cheered. There were 4 of us on the trip at that point, and they all cheered, hoping for a Mexican wave. That sort of behaviour probably gets you turned away again, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, even after a cup of tea.
Yeah.
So anyway, you got through check-in, you got on the plane.
Yeah.
What did you have?
2 beers and some Portuguese snacks.
So that was
But
breakfast.
I didn't have bread. I'm cutting down in bread.
What did you have this morning?
Quite nice though, on TAP.
Crumpets.
TAP Airlines. And
Tap? Who are they?
couldn't get my legs in the chair, so that was a bit of a...
Is that like an EasyJet alternative?
It's a Portuguese airline, I think, and it was very nice. The people were very nice. The offering was nice. I thought it was good. But
Did they have just Portuguese snacks available?
And Pringles.
Oh no, Pringles are so bad for you.
I didn't have them.
Just saying to everyone that you can't stop because there's stuff in them that make you literally pop.
Yeah. So I think that the flying to Porto is there's no time change. It takes about 2 hours roughly, so that's all right.
2 hours 20.
And the other people in the group went from Stansted and Bristol both to Porto in the same day.
Oh, so you all met them at Porto.
Mm.
So, okay, so you flew to Porto.
We didn't because the plans changed, but that was the aim.
Okay, so you get off the plane at Porto. What was the weather like?
Wherever you are. It was very warm, 25 degrees.
So like a hot summer's day?
It was hot, yeah.
Okay, and then from Porto to get to Quinta de la Rosa, how did you do that and how long did it take?
Okay, Porto, and Porto, you could just stay in Porto, so that would be another trip, but we'll get onto that later. But if you want to see the vineyards, you have to go up the Douro Valley, and that means exiting Porto, which is a little bit industrial on the way to start with when you first go out. But the road system since the EU has been is immaculate, and unlike the Portuguese driving, which wasn't immaculate. And then about 20 minutes out, you start to see vineyards, but they'd be
So
vineyards.
Did you hire a car?
We hired a car, which was it's almost taller than me. It was just a ridiculous thing, but very comfortable, very easy. But it's quite a tank.
Okay, and then how long to get to Quinta de la Rosa?
About an hour and a half to 2 hours.
That's quite a mission.
So you can go in different ways, different routes.
Could you get the train?
Yes, the people that we were going to meet in Porto got there a bit early, so they took the train up, and we met them at Quinta de la Rosa, and they took the train where you can't open the doors and swing your legs out, but you practically can. It's very relaxed.
How long does that take?
Longer.
Longer?
Yeah.
But I guess you can eat and drink and...
You can eat and drink, and the train is down by the river.
So you get to see all the views?
You get to see all the views up the steep-sided valley, and you see there's a lot of boats that are going along on the river.
Okay.
So it's really it's a
nice
relaxing way to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
the stations with their painted tiles are fantastic to look at as well, the architecture.
So then you get to Quinta de la Rosa at mid-afternoon or something?
Mid-afternoon, yes, sort of 4, 5-ish.
Okay.
Then Quinta de la Rosa is a vineyard. It's a quinta is a vineyard, and they have their vines, and the winery is there. But they've now built a hotel, which is very smart, very nice. But still, they're a family-run estate, and it has the feel of being with a family. And there are rooms in the main building, but then we were in a area where you had to sort of walk through lemon trees, orange trees and stuff, and figs, and then there's a little group of outbuildings called Amarella, and we were in there as a group, and other people were there as well. But
and there's a restaurant on site,
10 rooms or something. There's a lovely restaurant on site. Yeah,
sounds awful. I mean, this work sounds really hard.
Well, you've got to eat. It's quite high. It's not super high, but it's high enough. And when you go into the reception, the window facing the river is floor to ceiling glass.
Wow.
It was.
So it did look like, from the pictures that you'd sent me, it looked like you're kind of in the middle of nowhere. So you might be in a wine producing place, but it looked quite exclusive.
Yes,
like there's not loads of tourists around. It's not busy. It's not
changed.
Bustling.
It's changing. So the first major town that you go past, which is in the port area, is called Regua, and we were in the next one up, which is called Pinhão. And if you went there 15 years ago, there'd be one bar some vineyards and nothing much to do. Now because of more tourism, there's a hotel that's sort of quite a posh hotel that people go to. There are more bars and tapas type places.
So can you walk there from Quinta de la Rosa?
You can. We didn't have time to because we were working so hard, but you can. And so there's more of a light nightlife. And when we drove through to go home, there were groups of tourists sort of walking along the promenade and stuff like that. And there are boat trips that come there. But
there weren't rowdy bunches of people. It was still very private and
peaceful. I was thinking about Ross actually for a little bit because your stepbrother, because there were two groups from two different countries who were there to do cycling trips. So they had Quinta de la Rosa as a base, and then they went off and did different cycling trips because it's quite very steep.
So Ross is my stepbrother who passed away at Christmas. He has cycle shops. So just as an aside, if anyone's into cycling and they're in the UK or near to us, he's got a shop in Hassocks.
We'll send them an invoice.
And he did do cycle trips, didn't he, in Portugal? It was cycle holidays in Portugal.
And then so other people that were there were people who came to eat there from the local area who just came out for dinner in the evening. We joined forces with a group of French sommeliers who were over looking for Portuguese wine because they said they didn't have much, and they were there. There were German people there. There were Japanese people there in groups that sort of travelled together.
Okay, so let's back it up. So you got there at 4 p.m, and then I think the hard work started when you messaged me saying, I'm going for a white port and tonic, and we've been told to raid the mini bars and empty everything because we don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
We're all meeting on the terrace by the swimming pool.
Yeah, we had so that wasn't so much, that was a travel day and we were parched, so it wasn't really a working day, but
it wasn't really a working day.
We got to dinner. So we were told, well, relax. You've got an hour, say, before we all meet. So
a quick dip in
dinner.
the pool.
Oh yes, I did. And go for your life with the minibars, and the minibars that will have table wine, white, red, rosé in half bottles, beer.
So that was your aperitif.
There was a bit of beer. White port, it was what we had, and some of the red port as well. So that's nice, isn't it?
And so that got you rehydrated then?
We were sitting, it's like a terraced property, and you're sitting under a pergola thing, very nice, very quiet, and you can watch the occasional train and boats go down the Douro River.
Okay, so after that really hard work of rehydrating with all of your mini bars, then did you go for dinner?
Then we went to the restaurant, yes, and we were on a big long table, with Kit, who's the son of Sophia, and Sophia's family, or Kit's family as well, own the property and have had it for different generations, and Kit is Sophia's son, and he was the host for the thing.
What did you eat?
Well, that's when we joined the French party, so we were quite a long table, and we had picky bits, croquettes, very nice, some other bits that I can't remember, because it was like a family dining, so plates were going through, some like a Iberico ham, but it being Portuguese, pig. The main meal was bloody great big short rib with a truffle mash, which looked like it was the size of your head, and I'd never be able to get through it, so I don't really eat much red meat anymore. And but it was really light and was absolutely delicious. And then a funny little pudding, which I couldn't really work out what that was, but it was nice. Some plates of cheese came round with the quince jelly.
Nice. So and then you carried on drinking afterwards till 2:30 in the morning?
Well, firstly, working. So Kit bought out back vintages, historical bottles from the whites and the reds, and then we had one port at the end, but from older stuff. And they were sort of hit and miss, but the misses were still nice. So we had 10-year-old whites, for example.
Okay, so that sounds like a very good day one and a late night.
Then we did have a chat, and because day one it tends to be
bonding,
bonding, and then getting overexcited and wanting to have everything all at once. So, we were able to sit outside in a jumper. So in the daytime, it's warm, really warm with a t-shirt on, and then the temperature drops quite a lot. So you need a jumper.
Okay, so
that's good.
So that was sort of 2:30 a.m. bedtime. Then you're up at what, 7?
Such an arse.
Like...
Yeah, that's important. Whoever tells you your breakfast time, you've got to be there, whatever you've done the night before.
Yes, you have. That is the rule number 1 of a wine trip is don't mess it up.
No.
You can't be the lightweight on the first day.
No, and you should, you've got to be attentive.
Respectful, yeah.
Taste properly, make notes, ask questions, even if you're suffering, it's your own fault, and
take some paracetamol, some Diorolite, and get back in the seat.
Yeah, it annoys me if people don't commit to it. It's you're being
equally.
Hosted.
We're explaining this as you've done this as a wine merchant. So if you were going there on a holiday, obviously it's not like you have to drink everything, and you're not going to try 30 different wines on day one, for example. I mean, you might do if you're going to buy stuff.
Well, that's a good point.
This is a work trip.
If you went there as a tourist, they were saying that from May onwards they get really booked. So you need to prepare in advance, and there are really good staff there that lots of different people will be able to do you that host you with a tasting, but you need to book that in advance.
Yeah, so April actually, so this time you've been at the end of the month, it's probably really good timing because the weather was lovely, it's quiet, travel was easy, it's out of season.
Yeah, we were saying that, it was really good because the terrain is very complex. There's lots of different valleys, lots of different angles and light and shade and stuff. And there were leaves on the vines and little bud burstings, but it wasn't so bushy. Like if you go later in the year, there's a lot of growth and it just sort of covers the hill, so you can't see so much the different contours. So this was a good time because they look like vines. They look like they're going to produce fruit, but it's not all bush. You can see the terrain and see what's going on. So
then day 2 you were up early, had breakfast.
Yeah, nice breakfast.
And then headed out you went on a hike, didn't you? So then your little group.
Yeah.
So just the 4 of you, whatever, with Kit.
Yeah, two went up in the vehicle, and so the track goes from where Quinta de Rosa is pretty much right down by the river. And then if you look up, it goes up 500 metres.
They're really steep. Where the vines grow, they're on really steep hills.
It's not a gradual hill. You could probably go up on all fours.
I suspect you did.
Well, I looked like I had. If you choose to go up by car, that's fine because it was hot and not everyone's equipped to do it. But the track is the width of the car, and then it just...
that does scare me in Portugal. All of the roads are like that.
Drop.
Oh gosh, you're driving around these hillsides with no railings or fencing or anything.
And because of the climate in the area, they have no rain and then really, really heavy rain. So there are landslides that were being repaired and things like that. So it's pretty.
Okay, so you mountain climbed the hill
like a nimble little goat. And,
really? Did you sent me the video? If anyone's on Instagram, look at the video I posted of Henry when he got to the top of the hill.
Broken. Simon had
little bit
a
hot.
20-minute sit down and went back down in the car.
So you got to the top.
The reason we're going to the top, if you let me say it, is Quinta de Lamelas. The family bought that for Tim, who's like the patriarchal figure, who's not alive anymore, which is Kit's great granddad. He was going to retire there.
What is it?
It's like a lovely house right on the top of the hill that looks down and you can see.
So who lives in there now?
For miles. They use it for stuff like this and you can book it to stay in it.
Oh, nice.
And it's got its own swimming pool. It's got its Kit had his 30th birthday there with his friends, set up the decks properly, this big slate. dining table in the garden.
That sounds good. Now we're talking.
It
Team
was
Butler.
really good. and it would be really good. And one of the roofs, they've put in this. They've bought some stuff from an old church, like a reclamation thing. So the ceiling is like an old church.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah, it's
so
really
you got
good.
there and you had a picnic.
Yeah, so the picnic got sent up, and that was lovely. Some salads, meat and cheese, always meat and cheese,
and
crumble
olive oil
croquettes.
probably. So olive oil we import direct from Quinta de Rosa. We have done it for years, and it's like the nicest oil you're ever going to taste. We sell it in the shop for what, $9.99?
Yes,
a bottle,
and a bit more, I think. And then what was really good was with plenty of rosé there, and the rosé is really let's get away from Provence. This is pale-ish, but it just had a lot of character to it, and it was very versatile with all the different types of food. So that was nice. But it's the point of it, I guess, is when we were walking up, Kit pointed out where they'd planted new vineyards and where their vines were, because it's a bit of a patchwork quilt in the Douro, and a producer will own a little parcel next door to someone else who owns a little parcel, and some people look after their vines because they want to make wine. Some people, they've got vines but they're not a wine business, so it goes a bit more wild, but it really highlights how hard it is to farm and to make wine in the Douro. They have to work so hard.
Which sort of justifies some of the prices as well, because you can get really, really affordable Portuguese wines, which is great. And I think the UK market are definitely coming round to all of that now. I mean, you see them in supermarkets more and more. But there are some of the more premium bottles. I mean, even if you were, say, paying £25 in our shop for a bottle, that comparable to what they might make in France or the amount of production in Australia or somewhere like that, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like the amount of detail of craftsmanship going into these bottles, and like you say, the steep vineyards, the meticulous picking, the hand harvesting, because you can't get machinery on these kind of slopes in the vineyards.
No, you can't. There were some sort of tiny tractors, but you can't really get much up there, and because of the terrain, the yields are quite small, so you don't get a lot out of your vineyard. They were saying, which I thought was quite interesting, that the workers that come to their area are from countries. They said that when you're harvesting, it could be 40 degrees and there's nowhere to hide. So it's workers from countries that are able to sort of work hard in high heat. So there's Nepalese, there's Indonesian people, Sri Lankan people, all sort of travelling around and doing their harvesting in all of these hot regions, because it's brutal, and the vines are quite low to the ground, so someone of my height is not great.
You can bend at the knees.
You need to be stocky, short and stocky.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do, and then you're carrying 50 kilos of grapes on your back.
You need to be strong and nimble.
But the soil is. And I think this is the key. You need to go to the region to really get a full picture of what it's like and immerse yourself in it. And when you look at the soil, there's hardly any soil. It's just rock. So this sort of schist, slaty rock with granite. And when they plant a vine, they dig a tiny little hole, because you go down about 6 inches. That's just all the topsoil that they've got, and build it up a little bit to protect it. And then the vine's roots work their way down through the fissures in the slaty soil and grip in, because they're looking for water, and then it takes a while for them to establish themselves. But it's tough. It's tough up there. So we were having picnic ones, really, just the basic ones. We did have which I think we'll get in, a really light red, which they pick reasonably early, but it's phenolically ripe, and it is 11%, but really tasty.
So you could chill it.
Slight chill, yeah, that was really tasty.
Okay, so you've done a picnic, nice boozy picnic, hot sun, really lovely venue on the top of a hill.
Walk back down, practically get shin splints.
So like a slide, slid down the hill.
Someone did fall over. I won't say who. But yeah, and it's cool because Kit would stop, and then Kit would tell us these are where the white varieties are. These are, and the important thing with Quinta de Rosa, it's small, but they have multi-sites. And he said they pretty much got every angle of vineyard and every aspect in their portfolio, which allows them to blend different parcels of fruit to suit the climate. So if it's
they need
really
something with some
year,
high
they can get
acidity.
some
So you just they make up a concoction. So it's to make the best quality of each wine.
Which is useful, isn't it? So then we walked back down, quick dip in the pool and the fridges in the rooms, and a sluice, and then we went to work. So we went.
Did you?
Yes,
Where did you go?
Into the winery.
Into the winery.
Yeah. So a bit chat about the winery, which was cool. And they've got another site called Casa de Passagem, which is further up the river, and so that's a different vineyard but made by the same winemaker. And then they'd set up the wine tasting, which I think you could do as a punter as well, in the barrel aging room with all the old barrels of port and wine, and it was really cool. And we tasted everything they make, all their wines,
which is what? How many bottles? 40?
Probably.
Okay, so
that
was your aperitif before dinner.
Yeah. Spit in. So
will you now? I bet. Yeah. So the really old ports, really.
No, we were because you've got to get through it and you have to crack on. And so doing it 5 at a time. But it's nice atmosphere. It's very good because there's no clutter. It's easy to concentrate. There's no noise. It's nice and cool. It's a nice.
Is the Reserve Red still amazing?
Grand Reserve, it's now called, and yeah, it's a big boy, but it was nice. And then from there we grabbed the bottles, so it's going to be a relaxed, no stress dinner, which was just with Kit in his family home, in his lounge,
and the 40
in
bottles,
dining room, and we were however many we could carry.
So there's 10 each.
There were six of us, I think, and a restaurant that supplied some duck and some Portuguese rice.
Nice.
Which was nice, yeah.
So it was like, put it all out on the table and all help yourselves to whatever you want.
Yeah.
Sit, chat, drink, eat.
Yeah.
Casual, nice.
Yeah, not too heavy, nice. And because there's a few of you and the bottles have got like half in them, you just take in tasting portions and retrying. And Andrew particularly liked the 30-year-old tawny, so he just cracked on with that right from the start. I like the 20, but we were having whites. Duck can have white and red with it, can't it? So that was nice. Then the following day we went to.
So you were up. This is home day.
Yeah.
So then after another late boozy night, you're up early. Get in the car or have breakfast?
And then we went to see their top vineyard, which the name escapes me, which is sort of along the river a bit, and then there's this nice amphitheatre, and I tried the red from them on the previous day in the tasting. I thought that was sensational. It'd be super expensive, but it was like one of the best Douro reds I've had in ages. That was great. And so you could sort of we saw that vineyard and then drove back in, and then it just, we either had hot sun or storms, and we managed to avoid the rain until the drive back to Porto.
Okay. So then you had to go pack up your stuff. Did you have, then you drove to Porto.
Yeah, so
you drove back again.
Yeah, so on the way up it was a bit more motorway on the northern side of the Douro, and then we crossed over the bridge in Pinhal, so then you can look back and you can see the Quinta de Rosa house from the other side of the river. So that's nice, and see their vineyards. And we went down that side, which is a bit more picturesque for big chunks of it.
So then you get to Porto, and then you think, okay, we better have another boozy lunch before we get on the plane back.
You've got to refuel, haven't you? So I hadn't been to this part of Porto before, so it's not really in the main part of the city. It was more down by the port, which is huge, and a lot of containers and stuff. And there's a fishing area there called Mato Signo or something like that. It's easy to find out. But there are lots of fish restaurants with fish on the counter that's come in. Let's hope it's coming from Portugal and not coming from England or something in this weird world. And you have it in the restaurant, but you pick your fish, and then they do it on the
plancha.
But outside a lot of the restaurants, they have the big barbecuing areas on the street by the seats.
Yeah.
They do
so you pick the raw fish that you want to eat, and then they cut it up and plancha it for you.
Yeah, and there's a bit of theatre.
And the plancha is like, you've probably seen them on telly. They're those big sort of contraptions where you spatchcock a sort of fish, and then you put it on the barbecue. It's like a big hot grill outside.
Yeah. And they were doing like little sardines, prawns, everything. And we had a massive, great big sea bass, which you could barely carry to the table, laughing. But he'd come so far with it, you couldn't really say no. But it was too big. But
you managed to eat it anyway.
No, we didn't. But our friends are staying there for 2 or 3 more days, and they boxed your stuff up with some leftover rice, and you can take it home to your.
Oh, nice! You could have taken that for the plane. I'm sure they'd love that. The people sitting next to you.
But it was great. There were quite a few different restaurants there. There was a lot going on, and there were a lot of people in them as well on a Wednesday. So that's encouraging. And then you can go round the corner and you go to a place called Foz, F-O-Z, and there's a nice sort of avenue along the seafront of the port that heads back into the city. And there's lots of bars and restaurants and bars down on the beach.
What did you drink at lunch?
Swellero. Vinho Verde from Vinho Verde.
Which we sell. Really nice. We've sold that for years. It's a great wine.
Yeah, and we had some reds. We just picked wines that we didn't know the names of. One was from 2007, which was quite interesting, from the Douro. Yeah, and it's nothing too heavy. It was nice.
And Porto, would you go back to Porto as a standalone? Is that somewhere you could holiday?
Yeah,
or would you go in and out?
Yeah, I think if you're doing it, it's like a city break, I would say.
So to do a weekend or a long weekend
with stuff.
Okay.
But equally, if you just went and hung out and went to a few cafes and saw a bit of art.
Because it's sort of, you see the pictures and it looks sort of shabby chic, but the pictures of like the boats in the harbour look amazing, and this sort of oldie worldy. Like going back in time. Yeah,
you still get there's still the old boats are going up and down, which are smaller, and they're transporting stuff a lot of the time. But there was an increased amount of these massive river boats with restaurants on them. There were loads of them, and they're not so pretty to look at. And I think they take like loads of.
So they would go. So as in you get on it, and you go along the river and eat on it.
Yeah, because the Douro used to be a really wild, dangerous river, and now there's 7 locks in it, and it's slowed it right down. So it looks like a big pond now. But the locks are. When we went past, if you went in it, you wouldn't go in it because the walls practically on the sides of the boat. And it goes, I don't know, like 30 metres or something in this concrete tunnel.
Oh, no.
Tower thing.
No, thank you.
The water fills up, brings you up.
No, thanks. No.
But what you could do is you could do a bit in Porto and then maybe go up the coast a bit and have a seaside part of your holiday as well. Because the beaches look really nice.
Okay. So then you went back to the airport and easy to get through and back on the plane?
Super easy to get through. There's a lot of chat on the news about all the new technology. You have to scan your face and answer questions and put your fingerprints in and all of that. They had all the equipment lined up and
none of it worked.
So mañana. So that was good. Yeah, that was easy. A few little. We just sort of had time for a beer and a glass of white wine and a packet of crisps, and then. I mean,
it sounds like a really awful few days. Like really busy.
I didn't say it was awful. It's
just such hard work. I mean,
I think it was good. A nice group. It was a relaxed pace, so it's not like some trips you're going from one vineyard to the next,
and also there can be lots of driving in between days, can't there?
Yeah,
so at least it's a drive just on the day, to get from the airport to there and then back again.
Yeah, because you could visit lots of different producers there and stay in different places if you wanted to. So, but we were just focused on Quinta de la Rosa.
But definitely somewhere to recommend. Definitely a region that's worth investigating. The wines are obviously superb. It's a lot cheaper as well, than the UK. So once you're there, beers are cheap, drinks are cheap, the food is cheap, it's really good quality, it's local, it's all sustainable, you're meeting people that produce these things. There's lots of family history. Yeah,
there's a lot of fruit grown there.
Lush
olives. Didn't have many almonds actually, but maybe they don't come from there. But it's, and Quinta de la Rosa, the place that we stayed in was, I'd go there for pleasure. You'd enjoy it. People would enjoy it if you stayed there, because there was quite a few people staying there, but you didn't really see many. So wherever they were, there were lots of bits where you could just sit and be a bit private, and so it would be fun. And if you had a few of you, like 6 or 8 of you, you could set up camp. And they've got a pizza restaurant thing if you just want simple.
Nice.
Yeah.
So all in all, sounds like a great trip.
Yeah, it was good.
And we've been selling these wines for years as well. So if anyone is interested in these wines, check them out on our website. We can get hold of everything in the range.
Ports, wines, olive oil.
Yeah, and the oil, I was going to say, is really well worth getting. It's for food and for dressings and all the rest of it, isn't it? Cooking.
Yeah.
So all good.
Yeah.
So a very successful trip away, and highly recommend visiting Portugal, especially the Douro Valley. And if you can go to Quinta de la Rosa, we could absolutely facilitate a visit there.
Yeah, and if you're anyone who's connected with TV, then by all means send me back over to make a TV programme and pay me.
Another really hard work trip ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Okay, bye.